Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Wrestling in the Middle. I am so excited to finally bring you what I've been working on all month, our Season 1 finale. And what this is a culmination of Season 1's best moments. Every funny and passionate clip we have from Season 1 put into one episode, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I'm going to be shoving it down the world's throats so they can know what they're getting in for Season 2, which Season 2 is coming next week at the Royal Rumble, guys. We're getting ready to hop on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to get in that car and start driving. And once we do, it's full speed. It is full speed to WrestleMania. So, 'tis the season. All that said, I really, really hope you guys enjoy this Season 1 finale. And thank you for tuning in, not just this evening, but to everybody who's tuned in over this first season and remarkably got us to this point in starting the second season on such a hot note. So thank you, and please enjoy.
It's called a promo,
Shut
kid,
your
and
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it, so go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead.
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Finally, a sufficient wrestling podcast. The basis, we'll explain the basis here. The basis is that there's too much toxicity within the internet wrestling community between the fan bases of WWE and AEW, the major promotions. I don't think that that's fair. I think we gotta meet somewhere in the middle. Hence the fucking name. We're wrestling in the middle now. And I'm still on an all-in high. I loved fucking Eddie Kingston coming through immediately. I'm gonna beat Claudio's ass. Don't even give me the entrance. I'm beating Claudio's ass.
I love Kingston in general, but that was just amazing.
I love all those men.
I'm really excited for where MJF and Adam Cole go from here. Again,
That's why they did that, man, because there's so many like predictable ways they could have gone, so that's why they said let's keep this going and see where else we can take it.
yeah, there's obviously the whole thing with Roderick and the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I definitely think the Kingdom are next in line for the Ring of Honor tag team titles.
It's written in stone.
It's
I
right
mean, and
there.
they're prominently known in Ring of Honor.
So
Checks out. I see this photo right here. This is a live photo of Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli. Started the match, man. He said, I'm not listening to the music. I'm not doing the entrance. I'm not acknowledging 80,000 people chanting for me. I'm beating Claudio's ass. God, dude, I love Rich. I love Claudio, too. He's one of my favorite people.
let's talk about Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Wrestling.
Speaking of which, if you've seen Johnny Gargano, please contact Tommaso Ciampa.
Can you call the number?
Oh my God, hold on.
Play it on the microphone.
Okay, so if you haven't seen already,
I love Ciampa too, and I love that Ciampa and Gargano are doing shit together again. Their rivalry in NXT, first of all, them starting as a tag team helped that tremendously because their rivalry in NXT just led to like 3 different 5-star matches.
all right.
Let's go.
Hold on, let me.
Head of the Johnny Gargano search team. Thank you for calling our hotline. Any information or tips on the whereabouts of Johnny Gargano will be taken very seriously. Together we can. No, we will find him. Long live DIY.
Let's go. Long live DIY.
Who knows?
I don't know. I just took that Baja Blast to the face. I got Baja Blasted just then. I know what there is to do on SmackDown. 1, that beautiful U.S. title that was made in his image. Put it on him.
That's
And
fair.
Once he gets that title, he'll hold it for like 3 months, elevate it, have some great U.S. title opens. Remember those? Remember when people used to do that?
We're bringing that back. Cody Rhodes, U.S. champion, open challenges every week.
Let's go.
Yeah, this is fun. Now, this is why you gotta let me cook. Then once he drops that title to somebody significant, but on the mid-card that's about to get their big break,
Grayson Waller.
he's gonna... Okay. Then he's gonna elevate all the way back up to the Universal title picture. He's gonna get to WrestleMania 40, where I guess I'm not gonna go since it's so sold out. And he's gonna finally win that Universal title. And then everyone's gonna be like, well, it would have been great last year, but I guess I'll take it now.
That is literally what I see possibly happening.
Do you want me to spill the tea on why I skipped Dennis Rodman?
Sure, why not? We got some time.
I'm glad we got time, because this kind of plays on people's ignorance too. Because I send a lot of tweets out during the week, and a lot of the time, those tweets get acknowledgement, they get opinions thrown at them, whether they be bad or good. I don't really care. The one time I send out a tweet about somebody being problematic, or sharing like a personal story about somebody being a piece of shit, it's funny that that's what people don't ever gravitate their attention to. I find that funny.
I get that.
I sent out a tweet about me not really wanting to watch Collision for the fact that Dennis Rodman was on there, because I know a little bit of a story about Dennis Rodman that I didn't expect to hear one day. And this comes from me being a lifelong Bulls fan too. Like, I am a dedicated Chicago Bulls fan. My whole family being from the city of Chicago. And I have a friend, my best friend in the whole world, was at a Zoomies event. And Dennis Rodman was at the Zoomies event and bumped into my friend. Bumps into him. And then turns around and proceeds to call him a derogatory remark that I'm not going to say on air because it's cancelable. Ugh, that's a tongueful. And he calls him this word, and it's a word that I feel like he got called a lot in the 90s and didn't take too kindly to either, for a lot of the things that he was made fun of for in his career. And so for that, I was just like, no, I'm definitely not a big Dennis Rodman guy anymore. He kind of seems like a jackass. And yeah, there's the tea on why I wasn't going to give any attention to Dennis Rodman, even though I love this company.
See, that's fair. Coffee Beat Bait, I was not a fan of that. I feel like they're doing my boy Bait wrong here.
Will say about the Chris Benoit death and why it was a big one of the bigger ones. Not only because it had all the media attention gravitated towards it that it did, but that happened during the transition period for me as a kid wrestling fan, because I believed the storyline that was leading up to that, where Vince McMahon had died in a limo accident. His limousine blew up. Me and my friend Ray were sad as fuck over it. We met up at his house that Monday for the Vince McMahon tribute show on Raw. And all the while coming off of the Vengeance pay-per-view, where I expected Chris Benoit to win the ECW title, and finding out later on that he was supposed to win the ECW title then, I was so thrown off by that. And so Vince McMahon's face pops up on the screen. He's alive. He's talking about Chris Benoit tragically passing away. And that fourth wall just came shattering down.
That's terrible. That is going to be the craziest experience I can think of involving death.
Yeah, that was the moment as a wrestling fan that broke me in kayfabe. That's when I realized,
wow,
oh, this isn't what I think it is. This isn't real, quote unquote. I love that as older wrestling fans, we can kind of like appreciate what the athletes in the ring are doing and like read into the behind the scenes of it more and like still love it. I love it more now than I did as a kid. Arguable though, because I've always been obsessed with it.
The round robin tournament, so you're gonna have everyone fighting everyone at least.
Not better than the G1 Climax, but pretty impressive altogether.
Yeah, so I'm not fully knowledgeable. So does the G1 Climax have a time limit on their matches too?
Yes. Sorry, I got MJF's pickles in my mouth.
That's fair. When I look at Paige, I see milquetoast.
Milked
Guy, just like he's kind of just a standard I'm a cowboy But like even then, he's not like all in on it. I feel.
Oh, nice tagline. He's not all in, he's all out.
Yeah, he's just like I'm a cowboy, but I just feel like
Toast.
I don't believe him. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. I can't even think of the words to say here, but I think you kind of understand what I'm saying.
I understood with milk toast, and he looks like a legit bottle of milk with toast on top of it. No,
I meant to say like that. He's just like a standard.
All ends happening. The entrances are going. And I'm like, there's the worst member of the elite.
Yeah, I remember that.
Cowboy spit. Okay, hear me out. FTR and Bucks tag team name. One solid name for all of them. Are you ready for this? Buck the Revival.
I'm with it.
Let's go.
From
now on, that 4-man team will be known as Buck the Revival. I was sitting there and I was like, I don't like typing all of this out. All out. FTR and Bucks. And then I was like, I'm not even writing Bullet Club Gold. I want to put Bang Bang Gang. That's what it hit me. I was like, hey, Buck the Revival.
Heck yeah.
I still can't get over his daughter. Wait, was his daughter or was it a niece? Or
It was his daughter.
It was his daughter. Okay, I just want to get my facts straight.
It was one of his daughters. I don't know if he has multiple daughters, but it was his daughter, and she just bawling and like.
She really thought Chad Gable was
gonna
win.
I think a lot of people wanted it to happen, but also a lot of people now that Jay's there are like, oh yeah, Jay's got to be the one to dethrone him.
She should have been standing and fucking clapping for that classic is what she should have been doing. Paying respect, not crying.
Yeah, I heard everyone backstage gave him a standing ovation as well.
And she couldn't? The disrespect.
Damn.
If my dad was wrestling Gunther and put on a clinic like that, now I'm clapping.
Just
I'm proud of you, Dad.
clapping.
I'm so proud of you, Dad.
Oh yeah.
You've come so far from the Alpha Academy. It's not disrespectful to say you just don't like somebody. He didn't do anything wrong.
I think it's the way you say it. Just in general, the way people might say it. Like when I don't like someone, but I don't hate them, I just go, they're just kind of there for me.
That's fair. That's just kind of fair for me.
It's weird because the BCC are obviously still heels, but Danielson came back as like a face.
Right, and nobody really talked about that, and I was fine with it because I was like, either way, we're going to cheer for him, and I think maybe that's why it was presented like that, because it's kind of at a point now where you don't need Danielson to have a big build up to a match to know that he's going to deliver.
Yeah, for sure.
So continuity errors like that really matter little with him, which is so rare. It's such a rare trait to have.
Yeah, I think but it made sense for the story too, you know. Obviously, if you see a 72-year-old man get his get whipped by Ricky Starks, I don't think it matters if you're a heel or a face. I think you'd probably go and defend him.
Here's the opportunity that she does deserve, and I know it's a stretch, but I think this is what needs to happen in pro wrestling. Natalya really does need to leave, and she needs to go win the Owen Hart Cup tournament, because there's no sense to me that shouldn't be hers rightfully.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing.
Everybody hold the phone. You're telling me Omos is on the list at 174 when he hasn't done anything but be tall for a year? He hasn't even shown up.
He's below Dax.
What do you do to get
He's
on
above
this?
Dax Harwood.
Stop. Dax Harwood's 181 and Omos is 174. Max Caster's 186 and Omos is 174. Kyle Fletcher is 188 and Omos is 174.
Rise up, Homo sapiens. Let's go.
Hold on. Matt Hardy's 193. Holy shit. Davey Boy Smith Jr.'s 202 on this list, while Omos is 174. Lee Moriarty, I skipped over him, is 196. Who's even at 200? Joe Gacy.
You know what? Joe Gacy has been doing decent work. I can agree with that.
Just a little bit of fun fact. Omos is 174, while Johnny Gargano.
To be fair,
is
he's
chilling
beaten him
over there.
twice in dark matches recently, so...
Damn. Tommaso Ciampa's 242. The more you go down, the more you're like, okay.
Who are these people?
All these people made the list off the independents, and Omos is up at 174. There's Mike Bennett at 367. Dude, Trent Seven is 355. I know we're going over time, but we're going to go over until we finish this list. I don't give a shit. This is offensive. I got more AEW notes, but that was it for Collision. We're going to jump over to WWE, just like Jade Cargill is doing.
Yeah, they hyped her up all week. They rolled out the red carpet for her. I was a little surprised, but given how much of a star AEW kind of presented her as,
Right.
it makes sense.
They Goldberged her. Basically, they Goldberged her.
Not how they went.
Not at all.
The Bobby Profits came out. I don't know. They don't have a name yet, so I'm just calling them
The Hurt Business 2.
the Hurt Business 2.
HB2. I'm eating some meat right now. Excuse me if I was smacking.
I have a feeling they're going to put Profits in the name somewhere. I don't think it's going to be the Hurt Business 2. I think it's going to be like... The Hurt Profits? Oh my god.
The Hurt Profits. Oh no. Their profits have been hurt. They need to get their dividends back up.
But
Dude,
yeah.
I'm pitching. I'm still pitching. I like the character change. I like her getting away from that weird schoolgirl character, but what really made it weird, it didn't have to be weird. What made it weird was the commentary on it of like, Booker T, your mouth is watering, or whatever it was.
Oh god.
Yeah, they were playing it up like, oh, she's a woman now. She's not a girl anymore. She's a woman. And that's just like, well, she was always a woman. She was never an actual girl, but...
I guess the whole point is because she's so young still. She's barely like 20.
Yeah, it's just... You didn't have to make it that...
They made it kind of weird. The whole story in general is just that, like, she looked up to Chase as a father figure. And that's why they're kind of going in this kind of... You've corrupted my daughter kind of thing.
This is a bad fucking Pornhub movie, is what this is.
Basically, yes.
WWE is collaborating with Pornhub on storylines, I guess, and it's fucking weird.
Oh, but it's piped in.
In some senses. In some senses it is. And that's okay. It's okay for it to be. It's okay for you to amplify the audio or stimulate the audio so that way it sounds a little bit louder, because otherwise it gets fucking distorted. And that's strictly from an audio engineer standpoint. Like, it's okay to pipe in crowd noises and balance the audio out.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. I know there's a lot of arguments about that stuff, so I had to bring it up.
I don't even know how to segue into this from that. You definitely threw me off with that, and I appreciate it, because honestly the show would be less entertaining if you didn't throw me off a couple times.
By the way, I'm not using that as an offensive term. That's just something I saw someone post on. It was him, Tomko, and...
Fucking Tyson Tomko.
I think Tyson Tomko and AJ Styles.
Dude.
I also don't agree that he's but...
Amongst these names could the name of Adam Copeland be mentioned, who really did show up as predicted.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Good job, Erwin. You segued into it. You did it anyway. So my pitch is, you start out the program with Edge as a babyface and MJF as a heel, and run a program that runs like, I know it's long, but these guys can make it worth it. Runs like 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Throughout this program, you see Edge shift into a heel and MJF shift into a babyface, doing a double turn.
All right.
But it doesn't happen, within the next match to the next match. It happens gradually to where in that middle match, you see a neutral ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I like that, yeah.
It changes the dynamic throughout the story.
You gotta love dynamic stories. Need a little bit more of that.
Jay White. I'm talking to you, Jay White. Switchblade. No, not Card Blade.
God, Jay.
I love doing that.
Motherfucker better give the Triple B back.
He better.
I don't take belt stealing lightly. The only time I thought it was funny was when Dean Ambrose did it to Seth Rollins. Jay White, you better give that Triple B back. Fucking take that shit lightly.
I'll find you.
Go fuck yourself. Getting to see him wrestle live was a really cool experience for only having seen him wrestle on the internet, on shit from Japan and whatnot. So that was just really cool. But at the same time, give the fucking Triple B back.
We'll find you. We got you. We'll
pulling a Christian Cage, taking titles that aren't yours. It is his title now, isn't it?
I've unfortunately been brainwashed by WWE.
I've been drain-washed. Washed down the drain of professional wrestling.
Damn.
There's a clip of me on BTE.
Let's go.
At the Cutler Cabana.
At the Cutler. Cutler Cabana. It legitimately looks like Roderick Strong. It's pretty creepy. Wow.
Yeah, that guy was a really cool guy.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you, guys. All right, so listen.
That's another thing. AEW is my preference. And, like, I'm not ever shy about admitting that. I'm not shy about admitting the fact that I, as a fan, like AEW better. And so I look at it kind of like a taste bud differential. Like, I can have a better taste palette for AEW, and then my co-host Dylan can have a better taste palette for WWE. But why would we as fans negate the fact that we love pro wrestling and hate each other because our taste palettes are just different? Just because he likes pork and I like beef doesn't mean we can't grill at the same barbecue. You understand what I'm trying to tell you here? Like, you don't have to fucking fight with somebody for liking WWE just because you like AEW better, and flip that reversal around. You don't have to fight with somebody who likes AEW just because you like WWE better. Here's a fucking thought. You can like them both. That's so crazy. Wow, I never thought of that. And also, you don't have to like them both. There's nowhere in the pro wrestling rule books written down in stone where it says one or the other. You can't like both.
3 months from now, Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends win the trios titles, drop them within 2 weeks. Orange Cassidy goes on a solo run for the TNT Championship.
Okay.
I'll let you know at that point if he's going to win it or not. LA Knight.
Here comes the fun one.
Because, like,
that's why I'm here today.
I can see it going so many different directions, but honestly, wait, what month are we in? Let me do a little bit of math, because you said 3 months, correct?
Yeah, we're in September right now.
Man, 3 months is a little short for what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Let me expand it a little bit for LA Knight, because I think LA Knight has a chance to win the Royal Rumble.
Go off.
That's what I'm thinking.
Still on track
that
there,
was my pick too before we introduced.
Yeah, it's still
Rock
not
into the
impossible.
equation.
Yeah.
Right now, what do you do here? You have. Let me just lay out all the titles on the line right now, right?
Lay him out.
Roman Universal,
Of course.
Seth Heavyweight.
I forget Roman Reigns is in there.
So I said the Royal Rumble. Still not impossible, but
No, we're still on track for that, but
the way that episode played out, that was from our first Through the Table recording. The way that episode laid out was we said Orange Cassidy will get the push before LA Knight, and that LA Knight's push was coming, but it was going to be a little while until he got put in that point. We said that was a 3-month plan, right?
yes.
It's 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks.
It's been...
LA Knight is in the Universal title picture. We were dead wrong. We were dead wrong. So, I'm back. Literally drove all through the night from San Antonio last night and got in at 4 in the morning to go to bed and wake up and do a show.
That's dedication, guys. I'm just telling you.
It was dedication was the trip started on Wednesday, leaving to fucking AEW, and honestly, I thought you were disappointed in me all week. Literally, every time I would text you, I was like, damn, he's just disappointed in me because I irrationally bought tickets to Dynamite and drove.
No, look, I'm proud of the work that you're doing here and, living your life.
It's a fun life.
It's just an expensive hobby, okay? It's an expensive hobby to go place to place, tickets, to hotels, stuff like that, man.
You are not fucking kidding. Here's where I don't. I don't think Willow Smith will win it for the fact that I don't know if you've noticed or not, but she's not that much of a fan favorite as she was 6 months ago, 4 months ago even.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was after she had this momentum going into winning that New Japan Strong Women's title, but after she won that title and lost that title, every instance I've seen her in since has been like lackluster, and fans don't really draw to her. And especially going to that show live in Broomfield and her having that match with Julia Hart and the crowd just not fucking with her at all. I don't think Willow Smith is don't think Willow Nightingale.
I was gonna.
I'm sorry, that was too funny.
The first time you said it, I figured it was a joke.
Oh my god.
That's why I didn't correct you.
That's hilarious. I said it more than once.
You said it twice. The first time, like I said, I thought it was a joke, and I was like, okay, he's making it funny. Let's go.
I've been listening to Willow Smith lately.
Let's go.
That is fucking hilarious. I'm so sorry for interrupting the show with my jokes, but
yeah, I get it. I don't know then.
Fucking TBS title. I'm going to Willow Smith. She whips her hair back and forth. I was making a joke in the arena right here. I was like, there's two things I love. Protein and pro wrestling. And I was just eating beef jerky while watching this match. I snuck the beef jerky into the arena. I had like packs on me in my pockets. Nobody was chanting ECW. I don't know why they started doing that. Nobody was doing that. Carlito! You're gonna hear Alyssa scream.
My God.
That's her favorite, man. When you see your favorite wrestler for the first time, of course you're gonna scream. When I saw Kenny Omega for the first time, I cried.
You're telling me?
I shed tears when I saw Kenny Omega live. I realized, holy shit, that's the real Kenny Omega.
I have a feeling if I did that, I would just be completely silent and all.
Nothing gets me going like Cowboy Bob Orton, man. I'm telling you.
Let's go.
I can't believe that guy trained the Randy Orton. And on his own, tonight, he challenges Kenny Omega for the world title. There's more than just a world title on the
Kenny Omega challenges him for the world title.
Yeah. Really, nobody has a physical belt in this match right now, so what's the fucking point of one being a champion or challenger?
That's fair.
Damn it, Jay White, give the fucking belt back. I'm tired of this shit.
Said they invited MJF to come down for 69 day.
Yeah, everybody's gonna 69.
Yeah. I feel like that was the whole purpose of this trio's run.
Well, maybe they go for 690 days. We don't know.
690.
What if the Acclaimed hold the trios titles for 3.5 years?
Oh my god! I don't think Billy Gunn has that much left.
And anybody can hold a title for 3 years. I feel like
that's fair.
If you didn't think it was possible, I know a guy. Dude, the fucking Rampage was a banger, right? Nothing banged harder than Takeshita's knee against Kyle Fletcher's face. I kind of want to listen to what he said after the match.
I think he said we need more Dalton Castle on TV.
I think that's what he said. He said something about Dalton Castle should be the next contender for the ROH World title, not Jay Lethal. It's the fucking Heels Club. Instead of the Bullet Club, it's the Heels Club.
Britt hasn't been doing anything.
Jay White will want to be the leader of that too.
Why not?
Because he couldn't cut it as leader of the Bullet Club. You know what? Can I just fucking cut it?
Cut that promo.
Okay. Alright, Jay White, you listen, you smug son of a bitch.
Let's go.
You're gonna give that belt back because that's not your fucking property, for one. You think, I don't know, that it hurt when you got banned from New Japan. Jay White, the Switchblade, one of the greatest IWGP heavyweight champions of all time, loses his belt to Okada, the greatest champion of all time in IWGP heavyweight history, then loses to Eddie Kingston, so he never can come back to New Japan.
Yeah.
Can't handle that. He can't handle that pain, so he masks himself, surrounding himself with B- level talent to gas up his ego.
Ooh.
You think that I don't know, Jay, but I do. I've been that guy. But you know what I'm not? A belt thief. Give the fucking belt back.
Exactly.
Tony Storm is hilarious. That's all.
Grayson Waller. For the love of God, stop tanning, you orange asshole.
I was just going on about unifying the IC title with a world title. I mean, that title has a lot of prestige. Like, what if we did just decide, okay, we're going to bump this up to a world title now because it's that prestigious of a title.
Ooh.
Now let's make a new mid-card title. Now the North American Championship moves up. Fucking insane.
You dig what I'm saying, man?
It was hilarious that he did that, and we'll get to that a little later because we got a whole other collision to go to, but it's so funny that he did that, and I felt like because of all the smoking he was doing in that taping of the DVD we watched, Beyond the Mat, I feel like because all that smoking he was doing, that's why he was like, I'm out of breath, I gotta stop this promo right now. Lance Archer, everybody dies, everybody dies. Leaked that information to kill off the CM Punk rumors because it was getting overbearing. And hey, look, another episode talking about CM Punk.
How did you... I didn't even...
He just creeps in the conversation.
He's there. He's like a shadow looming over the wrestling world.
Shadow Punk.
Shadow Punk. That sounds like a cool video game, actually.
Who knows where they're going to go from? Well, they could be tag champs within like the next few months, which again, are we going to separate them or are we going to unify them?
We should, especially with the Creeds up there now.
What's the deal? Man.
I was expecting Ripley versus... who all was in there? Nia, or not a rematch, but just like Nia, because they're the one that they've been focusing on, right? Nia.
Yeah, but then they heard her promos. They were like, no mos. I don't get this either. This is the one that's baffling me. Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Samoa Joe drops the ROH TV title after holding it for 570 days.
He had the longest reign of any television champion,
and then drops it, only to pursue becoming AEW World Champion. But, like, what the fuck moment? You can have both belts.
You can. You could have also put Keith Lee over, but that's another...
think Keith Lee should have just won it?
I guess it would have been random.
It's not illogical in comparison to just laying the belt out and saying, I don't need to have this belt. That shit had me rolling, and not like his wheelchair was rolling. Rolling on the floor, laughing.
Strong is the best I think I've ever seen him.
And that's why I said, I'm glad he's getting all the creative attention and TV time that he deserves, because he really is a legend in wrestling, and I'm never shy to tell him that. And I'm really honored that I got to not only see him beat Chris Jericho in that Falls Count Anywhere match, but touch the sacred ground that he pinned Chris Jericho on.
You did?
I touched that dirt. I ate that dirt. I literally picked it up and I did not eat it. I did not eat dirt. I was about to say, hold on. But I did take pictures.
You should have kept a clump of it.
It's like I did not eat it, but I did take pictures with it. That was a fucking fun time.
I honestly think Dragon Lee and Cedric Alexander could put on 7 amazing matches. And I do like that they're giving Cedric all this time. It's to put Dragon Lee over, but still.
It's not working, but if you pitch to me the idea of a best of 7 series, knowing how good the quality of the match is, I would be more interested, because I could watch a good match 100 times, but why am I watching a good match? And I guess that's why I forget about it so easily, because
there were no stakes to it.
Exactly. But you make a best of 7 series, now me as a fan, I'm like, okay, I want to know. Like Cesaro and Sheamus, perfect example. Nobody was interested in that until they did a best of 7, and they're like, okay, but really, who is the best? I want the 3 stages of hell back. I was like, how did we get here? Oh yeah,
3 stages of hell.
I want to see somebody fight in a street fight, and then a steel cage, and then a ladder match, or Hell in a Cell, and then a last man standing, and then a ladder match, or a ladder match, a tables, ladders, and chairs match, and a ladder match.
How do you say a tables, ladders, and scares match?
No, I just want ladders. Nick Wayne gets a huge win over Dalton Castle. Was not expecting that.
He did not deserve that. Dalton Castle is a national treasure, and he should be world champion.
I agree that he is a national treasure, and I didn't know anyone else felt this way. ROH legend Roderick Strong wrestles on Collision, and
again, like I said,
that in itself is noteworthy.
Incorporating his character while still wrestling like a badass, I'm all for it. I love the fact that he got back into the wheelchair after his match.
People were saying it's a miracle.
It is. It's a miracle.
It's a fucking miracle. ROH legend Roderick Strong. Make sure you say it correctly.
ROH legend Roderick Strong.
So last night I had to watch it back this morning because I actually fell asleep through the main event. That's how much of an old man I am. Watching the Sting and Edge tag match, I fell asleep in my rocker. No.
I'm going to be perfectly honest here, guys. I love Sting, I love Edge, I love Darby, I love everyone involved.
You just love everybody.
I didn't watch it.
Wowzers.
I was brushing my teeth and getting ready to go to sleep.
Now, who's the old man now? Okay. I thought I was the old man just crashing out because I literally swam in a bath of Chipotle sauce last night. I ate too much. And that is not a sponsorship. I might even have to edit that out.
You should.
Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland.
No idea who that is.
It's Edge. With Ric Flair versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne.
With special guest. You ready for this?
Yes.
Andrade. Boom. Plot twist.
With CJ Perry. With Miro. With Trouble. With Tony Khan.
Matchbox 20.
Matchbox 420, because it's just me watching Bryan Danielson matches and smoking in my room. What a podcast that is.
Like, Jay White is straight up buried if he cannot beat a one-legged man.
For sure. So then I'm going to go back to that statement. People are then saying MJF isn't a good enough quality wrestler to hang with Jay White even with a bum knee. Also, that said, I'm not done yet. That said, the one thing I don't understand out of that the most is Jay White just spent 2 months in the top storyline of AEW. The number one storyline they were running was MJF and Jay White. He held the Triple B during that entire time. Never once did they say, we're going to take this away from him. So for him to have that much attention, still be able to go out there and put on that quality of a match, yeah, I think that's a bit of an overassessment. It just is.
I think I would agree. As I said, I didn't agree with the people, but I was just in, like you said, the build, the story, I was just into it, and I like the idea that MJF is now has gone from like the biggest heel, scummiest,
right,
weaseliest heel to the strongest superhero-esque babyface.
Looking at the build-up too, if MJF can literally wrestle Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, Samoa Joe, wrestle all these big names, and then be able to go and wrestle a good match against Jay White, who again had a great match in his own right. That's why I disagree with all of it, because at no point did either of them look good, and both of them had the caliber behind them in this build-up that was 4 stars to look good. And from my position, I couldn't sit down during the match. With how much intensity was going into this match, with how much variables could happen, this was the one time, the most scared I'd been for MJF losing the title. This was the one time I felt like somebody's taking that belt off of him. And for Jay White to be that guy, and for people to say he got buried out of that, that is the markiest thing I've heard, and you guys need to let shit play out. You have to let things play out, because if you start overanalyzing things the moment after they happen, you're going to find yourself in a hole and looking pretty silly down the line.
You know what? I agree with that.
So you let it play out. That's what Matt Hardy says.
The American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. My dad is Dusty Rhodes. My name's Cody Rhodes, and that's my name. I'm Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. My dad is Dusty Rhodes. My name's Cody Rhodes, and that's my name. Cody. I'm Cody Rhodes. Yeah, that's my name. My dad is Dusty Rhodes. I'm Cody. I'm Cody Rhodes. I'm Cody Rhodes. Yeah, that's my name. I got a little carried away there, didn't I? Why we all gotta be in one ring? It doesn't make much sense. Like, why can't we evenly divide who's in what ring. There we go. Charlotte, I hope you put your fireproof pants on today. That doesn't mean that we're not still going to DMD. Dominate, mutilate, destroy. I literally just made that shit up. Christian Cage segment gets insane as he changes Luchasaurus' name to Killswitch, then roasts Nick Wayne's mom. Then Lucha Killswitch turned and helped Nick Wayne's mom, then turned again and helped Christian and almost concerto Nick Wayne's mom, but instead Nick Wayne gets concertoed in front of his mom by Edge. It was fucking nuts. I had to write it all down and read it out like that because it was fucking nuts. It just goes to show, and I can't sit here and get that triggered by it, truthfully. I can't get that triggered by it. It just goes to show, like, wrestling fans are never truly happy and will always find something to complain about. You guys are fucking ridiculous. R-Truth beat Hollywood Hogan for the NXT title today. In today's history. IC title match was a standard Intercontinental Classic. Like I was saying, a lot of conversation to be had now whether or not Gunther is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Beforehand, personally, I said that Jericho or Miz would be my selection for greatest IC champion of all time. Gunther changing the conversation more and more. And when we look at the greatest IC champions of all time, we really look at the modern era, and that's no discredit or disrespect to the golden era or the attitude era. Those eras contained some of the greatest IC champions of all time too, but when we have the conversation of the greatest intercontinental champion of all time, my two personally, like I said, The Miz and Jericho, but you really look at this modern era of intercontinental champions where we've had that level of prestige raised, and The Miz is at that peak level. And again, you have the argument still, now that Gunther's beat The Miz, retained again, and going on 600 days, you have this question, like, well, does longevity beat out consistency? Like, Miz has won it 8 times, Jericho 9 if you count the IWGP IC title win, which I do. I consider Jericho as winning 9, whereas WWE I think still considers him 8. But regardless, does Gunther's holding it for nearly 600 days beat that out? I can't say that it does, but we're entering the position now to where we might just have to say Gunther is the greatest intercontinental champion of all time. I said it. The sentence came out of my mouth and it was said. And it didn't feel wrong to say it when I said those words. It did not feel wrong. This is not only how old I am in a sentence, but also how fucking ahead of my time I was as a kid. Before streaming was even a thing, I used to record my SmackDown vs. Raw matches on VHS tape. I would record my SmackDown vs. Raw matches on VHS tape and then watch them back. Fucking ahead of my time. Randy Orton likely to win, I would say, but AJ Styles also just as likely, if it wasn't for his slacks. So only note I'm going to make on AJ Styles today is the slacks. Are they holding him back? Or are they excelling him forward? I argue the slacks hold your backs. If you're a listener, and you've been a listener, and if you're one of our paid subscribers too especially, and you want to lay out your opinion on something, contact us. Email us at wrestlingmiddle@gmail.com and say, hey, I'm a fan of the show. I've left you a 5-star review. I want to do an interview. And we will set something up because this is to talk to the fans. I should have just fucking called him instead of saying, hey, send a text message on the show. Should have just blatantly called him at 9 in the morning and been like, get up. Let me ask you how you feel about CM Punk. That's how I feel.
What kind of SmackDown versus Raw story mode shit is going on here?
I love this.
Tony is playing Road to the Elite in real life.
Your top 2 men's champions are part-timers.
Ouch. That reality just set in.
I knew it as soon as Logan Paul. I was like, great, now we have 2 champions who don't show up to work. If you think about it, the whole entire male champion roster for SmackDown doesn't show up to work.
Holy shit.
Roman doesn't show up. Logan doesn't show up.
Io Sky is the only real champion on that show.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The tag titles are... Judgment Day is mostly a Raw act, even though they have both titles.
Did you guys know this? This never dawned on me. I mean...
Yeah, it's a heavy thing to swallow when you look at it, the big picture here.
I want to talk about Christian's road trip of reflection. Like, what happens on a road trip of reflection? What do? You, like, listen to fucking Conway Twitty and drive through the dark? You eat Slim Jims and...
No, you just listen to Kanye West Streetlights over and over and over.
Eats...
Just that specific song over and over and over, and you just
ketchup chips. Canadian ketchup chips. I don't know. It's just I want to know what happens on a road trip of reflection. Out for what looks to be 10 to 12 months.
I believe I saw 8 to 12 months. It's sad. Like, he just got back.
8 if you're John Cena and a fucking bionic robot that comes back from shoulder injuries after 4 months.
So, and this is what I deem, he was replaced by what I now deem as the replacement. The replacement.
Right? He's literally the fill-in guy for everything.
Dragon Lee.
First alternate.
Wesley's long-lost brother.
Which announced by Rey Mysterio.
Which makes sense.
Jay Forever chance in the Jay versus Jay Continental Classic tournament match.
I really wanted Jay to win, but unfortunately Jay lost, so...
No, Jay wins. That's what I had. I thought Jay won.
Jay also won, yeah, but he lost.
Do with that what you will. AJ Styles also just as likely. If it wasn't for his slacks. So only note I'm going to make on AJ Styles today is the slacks. Are they holding him back? Or are they excelling him forward? I argue the slacks hold your backs. To say he's jobbing is also a stretch. He's putting guys over, yes, but also being shown well. And I think there's still room for him in the company to be more than what he is now. I think you can look at him currently and say, okay, he's jobbing out to people. And it's not a fair assessment to make because I feel like when you're jobbing out to people, of course, you're literally no-naming every mid-card match and just putting guys over. And I don't think every time you lose to somebody, that's you putting them over. I think even in loss, you can be put over. That's a great example is like Sami Zayn versus John Cena, right? Sami Zayn isn't going to beat John Cena for the U.S. title. But John Cena does a hell of a job making Sami Zayn look like he's almost going to beat John Cena for the U.S. title. Like, Pete Dunne is just precariously being put in that position over and over again, and I think that's where he gets the reputation of being a jobber. Just, there's my note on Pete Dunne, and as you can tell, not once during that did I call him Butch. I still refuse. I'm glad it doesn't bother him, but it bothers me. It bothers me because it's such a stupid, silly name for somebody who already has such prestige to his in-ring name, Pete Dunne. My only standpoint is you need to wait a little bit and see how this is going to unfold. You got a sketchy source giving you information on a very sensitive subject with a party in that subject narrowly confirming it. So there's a lot of like different characters at play. And at 0 point, this is the only thing I'll leave it on. At 0 point do you use that situation to push a wrestling agenda, a fictional agenda. And there's a bit of a story here because during our semifinal voting, people tweeted at us relentlessly, of course, as everybody was going to, as why didn't this match make it? Why didn't this match make it?
Yes.
But unanimously, people gathered together to tell us that Sheamus versus Gunther versus McIntyre at WrestleMania 39 deserves to be on that list, and we listened. I said, you know what? If this many people feel this strongly about it, I'm putting it in the semifinals.
And because of that, I think, didn't you take out Dragunov versus
Hayes? Yes,
too?
Dragunov. I took out the option that was getting the least amount of votes. At that point,
Guys,
it had 8% of the votes.
Look, I get it. But guys, come on.
I know.
Come
but
on.
it's one of those things, and especially when it came to pay-per-view of the year, I wanted to fight and argue, especially when it came to best 2023 year. I wanted to fight and argue so bad, but I was like, people need to have a voice, and we're giving them that voice.
I joke around, but your opinion is valid. Everyone's opinion is valid.
Yeah. And we got into the finals. Sheamus versus Gunther versus McIntyre made it into the finals as well, and made it into the top 3, but narrowly lost. So, going again from last to first, Danielson versus Sabre Jr. got 13% of the final votes, did not win.
Wow.
Here's where it gets close. Paige versus Strickland, Texas Deathmatch, 28% of the votes.
That's fair.
Sheamus versus Gunther versus McIntyre, 29% of the votes.
Also fair.
Yeah. Now the winner, Ospreay versus Omega 2, 30% of the votes. There's only a 1% difference between all top 3.
That's insane.
Yeah. So much so to where Twitter even labeled it so close. Sheamus versus Gunther versus McIntyre and Ospreay Omega 2 are both highlighted. They, by Twitter standards, both won, but by less than 1%, Ospreay and Omega 2 won that. That's insane, man. Now, surprise of the year didn't even go past semifinals, because in the semifinals we realized if you vote something over 75%, it's already going to win. That's just... There was no semifinal
I don't think there was
competition.
anything that was going to beat it anyways.
CM Punk returning to the WWE is probably the surprise of the decade, so it was a shoo-in to win that one. There was no arguments. I think, like, positive or negative, everybody looked at that and was like, yeah, that's
Look in his eyes, what do you see? It won surprise of 2023.
I have to question what we're doing with what are actual top stars and what are perceived as top stars.
Would you say the same about Dragunov, though?
Yes, 100%. 100%. 110%. I mean, we said this about, I'm looking at this guy right now, Cesaro. Cesaro should have been a world champion and wasn't. Sami Zayn should be a world champion and hasn't been. There's people that are perceived top stars, and then there's people that are actually over.
I think there is... And there's also there's only so much room, obviously. Now you have 2 world championships again, but... There's storylines you have to fulfill. There's, accolades you have to give. Of
course.
And there's people that have been there for a while that, may not have had their time yet, that need their time. I mean, and not everyone's going to get it, unfortunately.
That's the sad truth. It's not everybody's going to get it. And, that's part a lot of us can't accept, but
yeah,
that is a sad truth.
And finally, Karrion Kross is on TV again and not getting squashed.
Karrion Adam Cole cooked me cross. That's his name. Since we started calling the NXT notes NXT time, I don't think I've ever stopped calling it NXT time. It just flows too well.
It's
NXT time.
The tea time. It's tea time. Let's go.
Speaking of tea, Adam Cole and the new Undisputed Kingdom come out to open Dynamite and pour salt in my wounds, my open wounds.
God, I think
stomp on my still beating heart. This is where I've had this opinion before. There's these specialty championships. Sorry for stalling. I had to get my wits about me. There's these specialty championship belts that don't even get defended after the one. The Owen Hart Cup Championship, the Greatest Royal Rumble Championship. Yep. The King of the Ring had a championship belt at one very rare stint. These are belts that I feel like, my theory, could be defended annually through a series of tournaments again. Like the previous Owen Hart winner will defend against the next year's winner of the tournament.
Yeah, you could also do that with the Continental Classic.
Exactly. That's what I feel would create that same appeal, but people aren't fucking listening to me, and they're just throwing matches together with random belts. And
I don't know. I mean, this is sort of a we'll wait and see, but at the same time, I already don't like where it's going.
This is the AEW guy making the complaint, so I don't mean it maliciously either. I want to see the best for my brand.
Anytime I ever give criticism, it's never malicious.
Yeah, I just want to see the product become as good as it can be.
Yes, of course.
What if they just scrap it in 2-3 months? Because they're like, carrying Cross isn't carrying shit. Christian Cage is a fucking genius.
He is.
He actually got Luchasaurus majorly over with the fans. Something like, think about it. Think about it. Nobody gave a fuck about him until Christian came in and changed his name. Once he started this whole Lucha kill switch, kill Luchasaurus type shit, dude, fans are getting behind him, and I don't think that was ever gonna happen unless Christian Cage. Oh my god, he's a fucking genius.
I was hoping they were gonna put Butch on a singles run.
You mean Pete Dunne?
It looks like they finally gave him his own graphic, his own.
Yeah.
It looks like they're gonna keep him Butch, which is sad. But
I'll never ever call him Butch ever. Carlito shows up on NXT, and that's cool.
That was another moment where I thought, oh, Andrade.
No, it's Carlito, fool. It's gonna be Pete Dunne, motherfucker. I am so fucking excited. Get rid of Butch.
He's so cool.
Bring back Pete Dunne again. Like I've literally went a whole season on this show. I think episodically saying I'm not calling him Butch. His name is Pete Dunne. Even Dylan asked me at one point in the show. He's like, "Are you gonna start calling him Pete Dunne Butch?" I said, "No, never." Also, get in the win. Eddie Kingston and Trent Beretta have a banger in front of Trent's mom. Miss Sue stays all elite. She's still all elite, in case anyone was wondering.
Miss Sue.
Miss Sue. Get a pop from Miss Sue. Okay, this note is a big one for me personally, and the people who've been following me in this story here, because this is a really big story in wrestling right now, and it's a big story on Wrestling in the Middle. AJ Styles hit the springboard 450 splash in his slacks.
He did.
I'm guessing they're not holding him back after all, but I'm still remiss to say, like, it doesn't feel right to me.
It doesn't feel right, does it? No, but I mean...
They're not holding him back, though.
I don't know.
Like, he didn't rip his pants doing the 450 either, so there's got to be something here, but it just looks like somebody came out of the Wolf of Wall Street and was like, I need to go wrestle real quick. I don't know. I get something bad in my tummy when I see this. Thank you, everybody, all our true loyal fans that came in for 2 hours, listened, had a fun time, and did the whole deal, because you guys really make this show worth doing. I'm having the time of my life doing this show, and I'm so grateful to all the positive support and feedback we've gotten since starting it. Literally, you guys have shown me that people can like you for who you are and not necessarily what you do. And so for that, like I said, I thank you endlessly.
At the Cutler Cabana.
At the Cutler. Cutler Cabana.
It legitimately looks like Roderick Strong. It's pretty creepy.
Wow. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you, guys.
Don't step on his hand, please. You dick. You fucking ring dick.
Ring dick.
Use the ring genitals.
The ring genitals. I demand your attention for the ring genitals.
Oh no.
Gunther.
Why do you have to leave him like that, man?
Because he's an asshole.
Solid.
He's the ring genitals. I'm not gonna get that out of my head now. You've elevated the game here.
Good pun.
Meanwhile,
Come on, Willie.
here's your Intercontinental World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring Genitals. You did this. You created this.
I've been up all night, baby, I keep it going, catching flight after flight.